Everyone, thank you so much for being here and welcome to Startup Weekend, the finals. And for all the 6 teams that are here, congratulations, you made it. We're all here, we made it to the weekend. I know for some of you, this is kind of your first steps into the world of entrepreneurship and startups in particular. And I know it's been a long and challenging weekend, and it's been kind of cool for me to show up in the mornings and see you guys at work here, and then I'm thinking I'm the only one with the key, which means they didn't leave last night. So that was pretty cool to see that you guys were working so hard and so long through the night. So before we get started, we've got a judging panel here. We've got 4 judges today, and so I'll go ahead and give everyone an introduction. We have Gira Desai, who is the co-founder of Aleberry Creative, which helps startups kind of craft their pitch and work through their design and strategy. We have Aaron Flores, who's a business analyst and recruiter for TMCX, which is the Texas Medical Center Accelerator Program. We have John Reale, who's the co-founder and managing director of Station Houston, which you will all get to see right after this. We're going to go and have a little after party over there. And then we have Kerry Smith, who's the managing director of AlloSpark, which is Rice University's Startup Accelerator Program.
Please tell me I believe you're not up from the. I'm just a timer over here.
We have our.
Pitbull was able to join us.
All right, so before we get started, let's take a look at the judging criteria. There's 3 main points to these pitches. All the judges are going to be looking at your validation, your execution and design, and your business model. So if we take a look at validation, this kind of speaks more to the problems that your customers are experiencing and how you were able to validate that that problem exists and that it's a strong one. Moving on from there, we're going to look at execution and design, which talks a little bit more to the product and your solution to solve those problems and your plan for executing that. And finally, the business model, which is going to look at how you make money and is that a viable business. The way that pitches are going to work today is we're going to have 5 minutes for presentation, 3 minutes of Q&A, and during that Q&A time, we're going to get the second team sort of queuing up their slides and getting ready and all that behind the scenes. So whenever you see the team in front of you go, or just count off the teams in whichever number you are, go ahead and start moving up front once you see that they're moving on to the Q&A section. And so this is the order that we kind of decided on. This is pretty much totally random. I told you guys earlier that I was just walking around grabbing team names and then basically just threw this into a random order. So this is going to be the order of presentation. We're going to have Tire Trader first, followed by MindRemind, Folio, GigShared, Think Ahead, and View. I'll let the judges take a minute to write that down.
That's it, it's just 6?
Just 6, yep. Right, so 6 presentations, 8 minutes total per team. Also, if there's anybody in the room who's like snapping tweets and stuff like that, be sure to use @SWHouston, because we like to see that. All right, and without further ado, let's get on to the pitches. So first up is Tire Trader. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hang on.
I'm still getting set up here.
Yeah.
So just a quick heads up, I'm going to raise my hand when you have 1 minute left, and then at 5 minutes I'm going to start clapping. We're going to cut you off right at 5 minutes.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending, especially our esteemed judges. We're going to introduce you to Tire Trader, a new technology play. Our team here is Raj Sethupathi, myself, Mickey Jane, and Joe Rivera, who's in the back of the audience here. Okay? So, what is Tire Trader? Well, right now, when you want to buy a replacement tire in the industry, you have to go to individual retailer websites, or you have to pick up the phone and call retailers. Hey, what is your tire price? What is your installation price? What is your disposal fee? What is your stem fee? There is no consolidated website that provides that information to make you as a consumer educated in that buying experience. As an example, what Auto Trader did to the car buying process, Tire Trader can solve this problem. So how do we know there's any viability to this? So we talked to various consumers that would be a potential replacement tire individual, right? So in an average household, most families have 4 vehicles. On average, one of those vehicles will have at least 1 or 2 replacement tires per year. In order to go through inspection, you will have to have your tires to a certain tread depth. So everyone in this audience, on average, as a household, you will replace at least 1 to 2 tires annually if you have 4 vehicles. Okay? So what are consumers saying? Hey, right now, if I want to shop around, I got to look at various websites. Okay? If I don't want to shop around, I just go to my local retailer, and then whatever they tell me, okay, I just pay it. Okay? Uninformed, ask a lot of questions. Hey, if you want to take the effort, you're going to spend about 60 minutes to navigate 3 different websites to drill down to get the price point you want, and then you're going to write down the various numbers, and then you're going to decide of those 3 retailers who are always within about 10 miles of your residence who to go to. So you spend about an hour on average to do this investigation. Okay? So, all right, so if a consumer says that, if I'm a retailer, what is Tire Trader going to do for me? Okay? So we went out and talked to 4 retailers here in the Houston market between NTB and Discount Tire. So what did the retailers say? They were saying, hey, a lot of times people that are not tech savvy will just pick up the phone, call our number, and spend about 5 to 7 minutes with me on the phone and say, hey, here's my car, here's my model, here's the type of tire I want. They go in there and they type all this stuff up. In the meantime, that same retail shop has a queue of customers waiting to get up to the counter to actually get a tire. But they can't get up to that counter because the service advisors are on the phone answering questions. They can't just hang up on someone. They can't just let the phone continue to ring. So what the retailers say, hey, if a consumer is informed coming to me, it's going to make the process quicker, a better experience. We are going to make more money because if someone comes to us, hey, we know what they want. Okay? So, hey, is anyone currently doing this? Are you just replicating what's already out there? Well, from competitive intel, absolutely not. 30% of the retailers are franchised or company-owned. 70% of this market are just independent mom-and-pop retailers. Okay? There's online retailers and there's brick-and-mortar retailers, but there is no one that's selling no one is providing the consolidated information. They are only providing their information. Okay? So what is our solution? A technology platform that will sort between so many miles of your zip code. It will provide the brand and the size, and it will pop up the 4 key retailers by price. It eliminates that gray area of fees that the retailers use. Okay? It will be very transparent. It will make the consumer extremely knowledgeable. Okay? How are you going to monetize it? It's estimated to be $250 million.
Questions from the judges?
So the idea is that this is a transactional platform, that you get price discovery as well as education, and then you can transact as well?
So we will not transact, we will do 2 of those 3. We will basically provide the consumer the education. The monetization will be targeting the 70% of the mom and pop retailers that have a difficult time competing with the company-owned retailers, where this will give them a level playing field on a common platform.
So is this a lead gen tool essentially? Is that the business model?
That is correct.
So in the tag on to that question, are you familiar with the inventory at each of these places? Do you know whether or not those tires are even in stock?
So usually on the websites, they will have, if it's available in stock, when you sort it. So similar thing, the consumer has to spend that time doing it now. We will do that. Similar to Auto Trader, where they will identify what vehicle is in stock based on your search criteria at what dealership. We will provide that as well. Because we can, through our algorithms, pull that off of their websites.
How many mom and pop shops have websites?
Very few. So 30% of the market have websites. The mom and pops, I'd say less than 20%. The Pareto, that 80-20 rule, only about 20% of
So
the
how will
mom.
you capture their inventory? How will you track it?
So they will have to work with us on that. So that will be our channel partners to get that business.
Who's your target customer to use this?
So the demographic is 25 to 45, educated, already tech savvy. They will use the
Male
internet.
or female?
Both. So it will be both. Absolutely.
So you created like a landing page or using like AdWords just to see what kind of search query or activity you're getting?
So we have not done that. That would be our next step for a prototype. This weekend was to validate and work through the process and to get feedback.
So is this something you personally experienced?
Absolutely. So I have 5 vehicles in my family, and I'm constantly buying tires, and I have to go on numerous websites to drill down to who has the best price for me. I got run flats in my family, and I got generic tires, so I got the full spectrum, and it seems like everyone has a price for the tire, but it's the fees that vary significantly, and that can change your experience. When you go in there and you hear the tire's $150, but when I leave the shop, it was really a $210 bill. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Well, we have this fee, this fee.
So
Okay,
the
that's-
monetization
Go ahead.
is through a referral fee, creating a referral fee?
So we're going to use advertisement revenue for phase 1, and
Okay.
then we will look at.
Okay, that's it.
Groupon.
All right.
Give the judges a minute to write down some of their thoughts. Here, yes. Sure. All right. So next up is Mind Remind.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Oliver. So raise your hand. Raise your hand if you journal. Raise your hand if you wish you journaled. If you wish you had the right. So we found that through our research, we went and talked to over 100 people, and we found that there are 2 types of people in the world: those who journal and those who wish they had the time and dedication to actually get to journaling. So, our problem: people want to reflect on and record their thoughts, but they really struggle to make time for it. These are some of the comments that people gave to us as they were giving us feedback. I'm too busy to do it consistently. I don't have the commitment. I don't have the time. So our value proposition: we are an SMS-based service that encourages people to be more mindful about their experiences through daily text prompts. That means there's no app to download. All you do is interact completely via text. And we found that over 80% of the people that we spoke to are already using some kind of text-based service. So here's an example of how the service works. So first, what was the highlight of your day?
Today was awesome. I joined a team in Startup Weekend.
What do you wish you had spent more time doing today?
I wish I would have spent more time following up with customers.
What's the weirdest thing you Googled today?
LOL, I looked up saying hello in different languages.
Right, so these are things that you really want to reflect on, things that will help you a week, a month, a year later, as you're looking back on, that will help make you happy, that you'll remember moving forward. So the magic behind Mind Remind. So this is how it works. First, you'll sign up for the service. You can either do that via text message, you can do that on our website, you can do it also via Twitter, right? You'll receive daily prompts via text message. So again, no app to use at all, nothing to download, no barrier there. The user replies with their interactions just like you saw Megan do there. And then every week, month, and year, you'll get different email digests summarizing what happened during that span of time. So it really helps you to reflect and think back on who you met, what happened, what those great experiences were. So our go-to-market strategy, we're thinking this is perfect for your corporate wellness programs, right? As they're all trying to encourage people to get over the fact that they're working 12 hours a day. Mental health professionals, as they're thinking about services to recommend to their clients. Classrooms, mindfulness is huge in education. I work in education, so I can definitely assign it to my students. Gyms and yoga studios, hospitals and health clinics, and then social media, right? So as we're looking at physical and behavioral health and making sure that hospitals are helping people with both of those, we're thinking about hospitals and health clinics there, and also reaching out to the blogger community. I know quite a few people, especially in the millennial sector, that are really interested in helping people to think about mindfulness and their own mental wellness. So as far as revenue streams, first, archives. So you'll receive the text messages, and then, so the prompts, and then you'll be able to receive those digests for free. But if you actually want to be able to search these indexed results, you want to be able to look over a specific day, when was Startup Weekend? I can't remember exactly. That you'll have to pay for, these indexed archive results, but they'll only be accessible to you. Expansion packs, right? So unique and topical questions tailored to your user identity. You might be a new parent, right? You want to reflect on, you want questions specific to being a parent, right? What's the greatest moment that you had with your child today? That's something that's going to be unique to a specific group of people. And then printed journals. We saw that over 60% of the people that we spoke to in our outreach were really interested in this idea of a printed journal. And then industry-specific questions. So as we talked about that those corporate wellness programs, that's what we're talking about there, expanding into that market. Customer feedback. So we talked to over 100 people in our surveys. About maybe 60 of those were actually in-person outreach at Discovery Green and different bars last night. We actually formed this group at about 6 o'clock yesterday. So we're under 24 hours old. And then 61, a little bit over 60 of those people wanted those printed reflections. So people were really interested there. And then that's our team. So Mind Remind. We're really helping you to be more mindful and think about the importance of the work that you're doing.
Is this a B2C model, or is this like sell to a corporation and they roll it out?
So B2C to start with, but definitely thinking about the corporations as something to expand to, absolutely, yes.
So is the idea, I have something in my mind and this kind of like cues me up and asks me questions about my day?
So whatever you have on your mind, it's going to send the same questions to different people, but the questions will alternate. So one day it might just be, what's the highlight of your day? Another question might be, oh, what's the most beautiful thing that you saw today? Or who did you spend the most time with today? So the questions will be fun, like what did you Google today? Different things that will get you thinking about it. So they'll vary.
So you're going to curate all of those prompts?
Exactly.
And I assume that they'll change on a regular basis, so you're not getting the same questions?
Exactly, yes. Which is why you only get, we're thinking about 3 questions each day, so it'll be easy. Some will repeat maybe every couple weeks or so, but they're going to change up.
What's your competitive analysis? Because right now people use Facebook Moments quite a bit.
So people prefer using these text-based services, right? So we found that about 80% are already using some kind of text-based service, but they're also not using any kind of a journaling app. Over 60% of people are not using a journaling app, even though they're really interested in doing it. So even though they have Facebook, they also want something individual but they're not using anything to do journaling right
I
now.
think I have seen a couple journaling apps that are kind of similar, not necessarily through SMS, but they
Right.
give little prompts.
So yeah, so they'll definitely give prompts, but they are apps, and so that is a barrier to most of the people that we found that we were talking to.
So in your feedback, did you get any that suggested a platform other than an app? So for instance, people who just don't like to type on their
So
phone
we
all the time?
explicitly,
Like send an email every day that you can respond to in an email?
That's what, there's a couple
no, we
that do
only,
that right now.
yeah, we only asked about app versus text, SMS.
So of the folks who signed up, you asked them about if they're willing to pay for it, and if so, how much they're willing to pay?
So we asked them about the journal. We didn't ask specifically about how much they'd be willing to pay for it, but we asked if they'd be interested in that physical journal. And so we started talking about, you know, what would you pay for this product, how much you pay for a nice journal, and so on. So when we did that competitive analysis, we saw that there were some companies who, like there was a guy basically doing it for his group of friends, but he went out of business because it was just one person, and he was selling these kind of printed journals for about 25 bucks. There's another service that does it for like newborns, so parents with newborns, and they only do it for parents with newborns, and it's but they have kind of a similar focus there.
So why would they be willing to sign up? Like, what was the thing that was really interesting to them about that?
They liked that it's no app and that it's really easy to do and doesn't require any, and the prompts are interesting. They like
People
that.
wanted to journal that didn't physically want to sit down and journal or carry a journal, or, I mean, like, people who like text themselves notes throughout the day, do that.
Okay, that's all we have time for. Thank you.
Do I just start?
Give them a minute to write down their thoughts. And then all right, judges ready? Okay, next up we have Folio.
Do you remember what it was like to job hunt? Or, if you were searching for talent, the long, arduous journey of finding the right fit? In our 21st century world, online job search sites at least help make connecting easier. However, we often find ourselves making account after account, all to still be passed up or passed around. So, the question becomes, why isn't there a place to help job seekers display their talents and lead them in the right direction in terms of job searching? Or, why isn't there a place that helps recruiters find quality talent that helps promote their company's values? Folio strives to do all this, all while promoting the one thing that everyone seems to creep around, diversity. But does anyone have a problem with site hopping? And is diversity an issue in the hiring process at all? We interviewed 5 recruiters and 5 creative students entering the workforce, people we thought might use every feature in Folio, to figure out the pain and pleasure spots in regards to professional advancement. No one likes site hopping. In regards to professional advancements, recruiters have the task of finding sites that have reliable pool of talent, and job seekers have the task of using multiple sites to display their talents and find ones that have reliable postings and the most. This makes many on both ends tired and oftentimes frustrated. They both spend countless hours searching and sifting till something fits. But with their long hours in staring at the screen, were they paying off? On average, yes. Both recruiters and job seekers have at some point hired or landed a job found online, but the frequency of recurrence was low. And across the board, compatibility with workplace and coworkers was highly sought after, as well as the promotion of diversity and debunking assumptions that come with hiring workers and working with diverse individuals. That's when we knew we had something worth pursuing. Folio strives to make the job seeking and recruiting process effortless by putting posting, resumes, portfolios, and personality in one place. Through a series of quick assessments that analyze personality and work ethics, Folio matches candidates and companies that fit. The analysis page allows for consumers to see a breakdown of why the matches were made. Our skill-based portfolio resume system focuses on merit-based efforts, then allows consumers to dig deeper freely. The dynamic tagging system focuses on simple language reading, no more decoding resumes. We focus on skills and requirements, which helps match postings to candidates. This allows both parties to focus on their body of work and not on who or what they look like. We added a cool communication feature as well, like our Interested and Initiate button. The Interested button allows for easy communication between consumers. After 5 good interactions, a peek feature will appear, giving the option to take the blinds off and reveal the candidate. The Initiate button is for those who believe in love at first sight. If a recruiter clicks Initiate, it asks the candidate to reveal themselves and to book an interview appointment. Over 441 million people have several accounts to more than one job recruiting site. 13.2 million will graduate. And there are roughly 3 million jobs in creative and technical jobs. And out of those, 1.5 million don't have jobs, leaving our market at 1.5 million people who are ready to use our product. For a monthly fee of $5 a month for job seekers and $20 for recruiters, we can achieve, in a perfect world, an annual income of over $90 million. There might be other sites out there, but Folio is a part of the few that look to have all parts of the career development in one place, and the only that focuses on diversity and merit and compatibility. Folio, driving diversity and focusing on what really matters.
So I missed like the competitive, like the real differentiation, and maybe because I wasn't following your monologue versus the presentation. But can you just make that simple for us? Like, what is the secret sauce or the unique differentiator that is solving this problem of the lack of hiring for diversity?
Okay. Well, the problem, I guess, in diversity is the fact that you automatically can see, and you might be able to read someone's name. One of the things that we figured out when we were interviewing recruiters was that sometimes they do look at someone's name or look at who they are and say, I'm not really interested, automatically, without actually really looking to see if that would really benefit. That means they're passing up a possible candidate and possible perfect fit for that company. So we want to take away all those barriers that people often feel, as well as one of our candidates who's Hispanic, who doesn't speak Spanish that well, but recruiters assumed that she could because she was Hispanic and she looked Hispanic. Those kind of barriers are often clouding our job searching process. So we want to break away from that and have this masking of a candidate, and then eventually you can then, if you were really interested, reveal the candidates to each other. So that's kind of one thing that we do differently from others. But also on top of that, we do have all of the job hunting process in one place. So instead of you hopping around for instance, you might use Behance to make a portfolio, you might be looking Indeed to find all your job postings, LinkedIn to then connect to a professional. We have that all in one place. Did that answer your question?
No, because so I think maybe that what you're saying is it just provides a lack of transparency on things that sometimes bias a job, someone who's placing someone in a job. So is it a search piece for then job seekers, or are you selling to enterprise as far as how you're handling the selection and aggregation of people seeking jobs?
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, I know most corporations have specific channels that they already use to hire, so I don't understand how the transparency would work when you're looking, things like Shell or Chevron or larger hospitals. They already have their own bots, and they already have everything set up, so how's that going to make the transparency not there? I think it's more maybe a monetization of whether you're going enterprise or not, but there's kind of a missing gap right there.
Well, right now we're not necessarily focusing on enterprise because we know that they have their own job posting site. They are actually inbuilt into their website. We're mainly focusing right now on the niche of actually creatives and people who need creative people. So people who are working in technology like graphic design jobs and stuff like that, because they actually do need people, and they mainly use these outsources like LinkedIn and Indeed and stuff like that. They usually post on there. But there's also a problem with diversity, especially in technology, as we all see in the news, that it's mainly one type of person. They're trying to promote that. So with our system, we're trying to take away the whole, even looking at the person themselves. But then with the peak feature, you can still, if you wanted to go further to promote diversity by yourself.
That's all we have time for. All right, thank you.
Judges ready? Okay, next up we have Gig Shared.
Hi, I'm Art Gomasagli, co-founder of GigShare. Your earnings, your economy. So the problem, people that want to work for themselves have high transaction fees or upfront costs, and clients looking to hire can't find quality people efficiently. So in the gig and shared economy, we have competitors. So there's Thumbtack, TaskRabbit, and Care.com, which come to the top of mind. So when we look at the benefits and features that we have, so verified clients, no subscription fees, no labor issues, and transparent job reviews. And we look at the competitors. So just to touch on each one, so Thumbtack, the way that they work is you have to post a job and then maybe someone will get back to you or not. And as a provider of Thumbtack, you actually have to pay money to respond to that quote. And as far as who makes that quote, it's not a verified client, so it can just be a fake email address and you're spending real money to get nothing in return. TaskRabbit, they don't have any subscription fees either, but they may run into some other issues, and they have a high 30% fee for using their platform. So Care.com is probably our closest competitor. Now, they have verified clients because they have a subscription-based fee, but the problem with that is that we found users on Care.com, they're not a big fan of that because they're putting money out before they know they're getting any business at all. So, the solution. A platform where the best providers pay as little as 10%. Verifying the clients and the providers so that everybody is on a level playing field. It's easy to use. The transparent reviews are very important because if you're looking to hire someone, you don't want to just know if they've done a good job in the past. You want to know how big of a job they've done in the past as well. And then we collect the payments up front to ensure that the person is getting paid who's providing the service. So, GigShare is the only place where you can market your skills and find the services you need all in one place. We have a little bit of a demo. So this is what our landing page would look like. You can enter what you're looking for versus 21 questions and posting the job, when you need it, where, and how much you can pay for it. So you click through that and then search. Some people come up, right? So we have a couple of options. The first one has perfect rating and he's lower price and he's closer. So let's click on him. Okay. Okay, so it's a cool guy right there. So we can see his name. We can see verification links if you want to get a little bit of a background on. Scroll down. Yeah. And then we can see a calendar. And so we can see availability. Versus the other sites where you kind of just say, well, this is what I need, and hopefully it'll be available when I'm available too. Scroll back up. So contact info, free communication, open communication, so I can give them a call, say, hey, I need a tutor today. Go back. And so I give them a call and say, sure, send the payment. So now, fill out what the payment is being sent as, and all this information, minus your checking account information, is going to be on the review. So we know that he got hired for $40 to be an algebra tutor on this date. And when we collect the funds, we hold those funds for 2 days until after the service is rendered. So the person knows that they're getting money up front, and then you can see your outgoing payments there. So we are an open platform, but we understand we have to have a target market. From the people that we spoke to, it seems like tutoring is it. So parents and college students are going to be the first people that we're actually going out and talking to. So we talked about 25 people over the weekend, and what they've searched for varies. But what they've said is they really want more choices, they want transparent reviews, and they want a good price. And what they're able to offer to the gig and shared economy varies. So tutors seem to be a common theme. We are millennials' highest educated generation, but we are severely underemployed. So we all have about 2 to 3 hours extra a week that we can give back into this economy to make some extra money. And then we see an economic inefficiency, and that's it. If I go to work for a tutoring company, they pay me about $17 an hour, but they charge about $45 to $60. So that gap is where we can capitalize on. And then we also talked about fees. So the tutor acquisition, we're going to go to various events and reach out to these individuals. We're going to go to marketplaces, and we're going to try to be a brand of positivity as well, because we know we have to spend money on marketing. So while we do that, we might as well be doing something good while we do it. So the client acquisition, right? So the average customer in the gig economy lasts about 1 to 3 years. So we'll say that we can get about 2 years out of each one. So revenue, 15% fee on transaction average. It's going to vary from 10 to 20%. About $40 average transaction. Lifetime value is about $68 per client that you bring in. And we're going to try and acquire that.
Questions?
Why do you have variable transaction fees? Why not just a flat one?
Because then that dissuades people from having like low transactions, so they only pay $20 or $30 and we're charging them $5 for that. It's pretty tough.
How are you going to differentiate who gets the 20%, who gets the 10%?
Oh, right. So if they are what we would consider like a power user and they do at least 4 gigs a month, broken up however they want, then they pay 15%. And if they do at least 8 gigs a month, then they only pay 10%.
So once I connect, and let's say I'm the tutor, why do I keep working back through the platform? It seems like this is a model that like kind of marries a physical presence with also a digital one. So, or maybe it doesn't, but it seems like it would. So can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, so once you earn a client in the gig and shared economy, a lot of sites will actually say that you must now hire that client through the platform forever. And if you don't, then we ban you from the site. So that's a territory that we don't feel comfortable getting into. And if you've earned a client, then that's your client, and that's fair enough. Now, a new person comes, well, we have backup slides.
Yeah. Can't use backup slides. Keep going.
Okay, so you also guarantee the payment when someone's coming on. So if they say, well, how about I just pay you cash? And you say, sure, just give me cash. Then the day shows up and they cancel, your payment's not guaranteed, and we're not holding it for you. And there's no review as a repercussion that you can go to either.
So why would someone use your verification over a tutoring company? Because I actually used to be a tutor in college. It was great money. And I loved going to the company because all my credentials were already done, like my SAT scores, everything was sent through the company. And I think that, at least for the high school parents, they really liked having that. So why would you go through a platform like this over?
Yeah, on the verification links, you can put all of that information there. So anything that they would verify, you can have verified yourself as well. But the biggest thing is going to be the individuals that feel like they're being taken advantage of, right? I'm getting paid $20 an hour, and they're charging $60 an hour. Where does that $40 go?
So do you guys have any background in payments as to like why? Because you know, there's a lot of components to actually putting together payments, and transactions, and holding money.
Right. Yes, we're using Stripe for that.
Okay.
Any other question? All right, thank you.
Let's see, we've had a name change. Huh? No. Do we have to stand or just to the left of the party station? The shot. Okay, so next up we've had a name change. Think Ahead is now FitFun. All right, so let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Keon, and this is my friend Lewis, and we're at FitFun. At restaurants, how many of you guys usually get soda over the healthier water? You can be honest. Okay, a couple of you. So, I know, but even well-disciplined people with like diet plans often, fall to the temptation of getting some junk food. They say, "Oh, let me have this cookie just this once." And this problem is prevalent nationwide. For instance, according to the National Institute of Health, over 1/3 of adults are obese. And after talking to numerous customers, we heard many people say that their current diet plans and exercise plans are not so fun, or could be made more fun. So for millennials who with poor motivation problems, fitness motivation problems, we provide you with FitFun.
problem. Exercise and diets are boring. People just lose interest unless they have that innate motivation that only happens to like 1% of the population. So the solution? The solution is through visualization and rewards to make fitness addicting through FitFun, a fitness app that is also a gaming app. In this app, you are the player. The focus is on you. That is your character. And when you start out your game or your account, depending on what your goal is, to either gain weight or to lose weight, your character starts out fat or skinny. And as you progress your goal, your character changes to a more fitter form, so you can see your progress. But not only that, but as you can see, he's wheeling the sword and little hat, but you can customize it to add more personalization to it. And that gear you get through exercising. You unlock it as you exercise. I will explain more of that in a second. Actually see your progress. You do this through your stats. Now, traditionally, video game stats are like levels or whatever, and no one really cares because you're wasting time in the game. But here, you're actually exercising, and you can see it. With stamina, strength, and agility, as you exercise you do irrelevant exercises, you get more experience and level up. And with health, the more every day that you meet your goal, your caloric goal, your health level increases. And each time each stat levels up, your overall level increases. And you can see a breakdown of what exercises contribute or add an exercise that you just did today. And how do you track your caloric intake? Through a food selection screen to make meals more simplified. It gives you a brief overview of how you're doing for the day, how many calories do you have, how much carbs, whatever. And then it shows you the foods you're eating, highlighting big offenders, what's giving me most of the calories or the fat. And you can add your food and see what's behind your food. You can see how much it actually contributes as a percentage to your daily caloric intake. What are the biggest risks, like high cholesterol, and see how much sugar or the bad stuff is actually in it. And so, how are we going to reach our market? Well, since this is aimed at millennials and people who want to exercise more but feel the lack of motivation, and since this also obviously has a game theme to it, we're targeting online ads at casual gaming sites, not only because they're cheaper, but because the gamers there are less hardcore and more willing to try to do other stuff in their time. But also advertise in health food stores and websites, because if they're interested in getting people healthy, they want to partner with us. And also, really big thing, social media and viral marketing. Share your progress. And since your character not only be skinnier, will have cool new gear you acquired through exercising, people will be like, oh, what's that? They'll look at the game, they'll download it and see, oh, exercise too, and look cool? Yeah, I want to do that. And so it's this viral cycle of, hey, I want to play with my friends playing, it's cool, and I want to lose weight. Monetization. Partnerships with health food stores and websites, as we said. And what this would do is we advertise their healthy foods as an alternative to stuff like the soda. Like if you decide to pick it, say, hey, next time, why don't you try this, Mount Fuji water or whatever. And also offer a premium service that lets you block those ads or have a coupon attached to that product. And future plans try a new monetization strategy with customizable purchases, expand
how do you guys integrate it with current health devices? Because everyone has, like Garmin's and Loops and all those crazy Apple Watches, everything.
Well, we didn't show it because we didn't want to take so much time, but whenever you have exercise, you can either do it manually or have support, just simply have a way to connect your Fitbit or whatever, have your steps automatically logged to your app for you, so you don't have to go through that process of, oh, how many steps did I take today, or how many miles did I run? So just integrate it as a default, or maybe later on, as in the future if we can't do it later on. But it's definitely something that is on our plate for this.
I love the energy. I love the food stuff. That's cool. So, can you just talk a little bit? So it seems like it's building out a pretty big library of foods and all the nutritional information or so. Is that more of the gear of this? It's like really understanding what you're eating? Or or is it also then like putting in and this becomes like this very active platform that you're constantly involving yourself with?
It's something like that, because the reason we wanted to make it like gamified is because usually in video games, whenever you, like in real life, whenever you're on a mile, you don't really see what happens, like you just kind of feel tired. But in a game, when you do an action, you can see your stats increase. So what we did is make it visualized. So we did the same thing with food. So we want to have like a library for people to see what the food is like too, not just themselves. So that library does speak to what you said of something you're involved with, because you're involved not only with yourself, but with your food as well.
Could you talk a little bit about some of the customer validation work that you guys did? You guys talked about those.
We went out and we talked to people, and a common theme is like, even people that exercise agreed, like exercising and dieting can be fun. Some people do it for like their own good. Some don't do it at all. And just said it's not really that fun. I even talked to athletes and like, I like to play the sport. When I have to run them like a mile every day to practice, I'm not really having fun there. So this would make it actually have fun, maybe push them even more, because like, oh wow, a mile, I just leveled up, sweet. Instead of, oh my god, a mile, I'm so tired. So it also had a positive aspect to exercising for the people that, don't really get that naturally.
Can you speak to where you're sourcing all of the data? It seems to me like you're going to pull from a lot of different repositories on nutritional information, caloric counts, exercise burns. Have you thought about that?
Yes. So one really big thing, we understand that we can't do everything, and like I've learned from some really good video games is open yourself up to the public. So what we could do is, what we will do if this project is successful is open up the food items to the community. Like, hey, I don't really think they have this popcorn brand. You submit the information, or you can even just.
Okay, that's all we have time for.
Come on, guys, let's let last presentation.
All right. Are we ready? Hang on. Okay, we're ready.
All right. Our idea is view, and we believe that experiences should be seen, not read. And to test our hypothesis, we did what any good group did. We went out, we played Pokemon, and we surveyed people. So what we found is right now a lot of the way people are using their reviews is they're going on, a lot of the younger generation is going on their phones. We interviewed 34 people, and about 28 said they use their phones for reviews. When we asked them what's some problems you have with your reviews when you're reviewing a company or a hair salon or a restaurant, they said authenticity is a problem. A lot of these reviews they don't know if they can trust, and they spend time going on these websites and reading through all of these reviews. Go next. So when we asked them, what do you like about the reviewing, a lot of them said photos. 85% of them said they looked at the photos versus the text. And when we asked them, how do you review? Most of them said they don't, but we asked them if you could snap a photo to a business's review page. 89% of them said yes, they would. So if we go next, we're going to go to my friend Brittany. Brittany has had some hair problems before, so she's looking at a hair salon in the area. She's new to the area, so she's going to Yelp. And on Yelp, she has to navigate through the page. She looks at hair salons, and there she gets this. Then she goes to a hair salon that she likes, and she reads through all these reviews. But why the hell is she reading reviews when she can just look at all these photos? And that's what View is. View focuses primarily on visual reviews. So we have a working demo here where Brittany could actually go, open up the app, log in, and she could view different companies. Let's say that she sees a hair salon. She can see a quick snapshot right here of the different businesses, of the different photos people have taken at the business. And then she clicks on it, and there she can go look at different pictures, read a review that was posted, kind of similar to what Instagram has, And if she likes the picture, she can like it, but more so, she can go to the hair salon and she can say, I want my hair like this, instead of saying, I read you do hair like this, yada, yada, yada. Also, taking a picture is as easy as taking a snap. So what you can do is, you can go, take a photo, bam, that's it. And all you have to do now is rate 5 stars, and you can write a review still if you want, or not, and you can submit. You're taken to the page, and the picture's right there. See it already. So, next. So our kind of go-to market right now is we want to address the younger generation because millennials are becoming more and more visual, and our means of communication is a lot through Snapchat and Instagram now, more so than it was through Facebook and Twitter. We want to incentivize them with free food if they download our app so that we can build a larger customer base. Other than that, actually our revenue, the way we want to generate revenue is similar to kind of Yelp. They do put ads on their businesses, but because we have so many user-generated photos on our application, the ads you post on our website, you can only use user-generated photos on your ads. And for the users whose photos are picked, they can make money off of the company using their photo as their ad on our website. And then we're going to broker that deal, and we're going to take also a percentage from that transaction. Shout out to the View team in the back over there. We did an awesome job this weekend. We met a lot of cool people. We got along. We caught a lot of Pokemon. And actually, if you click on there, we do have sort of a landing page. We thought this presentation was at 5:30, not 3:30. So we put it together and just, an interesting thing is of the 34 people we interviewed, 24 gave us their emails so that they could get a working prototype once it's complete. That's it.
Is, like, how do you deal with current websites? For example, if I'm going to go get my hair cut and I have to move to a new salon, I usually just go on their website and see the stuff that they already have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with like menus. I mean, I know they're professional photos, but like if I'm going to go to Down House, I want to see what the menu is. They usually have photos on the website.
They do, and actually just from market research we've done, we've seen that user-generated content, once it's posted, creates more engagement with customers than some say it's almost 90% customer conversion rate when you actually have a user-generated photo there. So yeah, my mom's in the hair salon industry too, and kind of this idea stemmed from that where she did have pictures that she posted, but it's a lot more meaningful when you see consumers posting those pictures.
So I think I heard you say that if the vendor liked the photos, they could use that for promotion going forward. Have you thought about the liability involved with that and getting some sort of click-through waiver from the users?
Yeah, and this idea kind of came about today, like at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we wanted to poke as many holes in it as we could, and that was one of the things we also looked at, just because we think it's pretty cool if we can make it happen. And we will make it happen because we have a badass team. So.
Right, but I can imagine a situation where these 5 people here, only one of them might agree to let their picture
I
be used
understand,
going
yes.
forward. So
We will ask all people in the picture if they
agree to let their photo be used for some finite period of time, not in perpetuity. Kind of thing.
So, so this is relative. I was with a buddy yesterday who owns a business, and he was talking about big challenges getting reviews. It's about 2 out of every 10. It's making it very simple for like a text message platform. So there's a real problem, I think, well, at least that's one example, a real problem of how do you get your user reviews or so in order to kind of have your customers talk about their experience or so. So is it go to market? You talked about food before. Is it to go after the restaurants to do so? Is that the idea?
So that was one platform we wanted to. We're looking at many, restaurants was always big in our mind to go after that, but we also didn't want to take out hair salons, and we also, people like to review parks a lot. And if they could take awesome pictures at parks and post it to a parks page, we also wanted to look at that in museums. And we don't want to say we're going to review everything, but we have certain areas we're looking at specifically in restaurants. It's a big one.
well, if that's helpful, the other side of that too, with a lot of service provider type businesses, is how do they increase that? Because that's a big part of how their search results go up as well, given those reviews. So there's a business case to be made about cutting down on your Google spend or your ad spend if you're getting more and more user-generated content that's pushing you up in the search results.
Okay, that's all we have time for. Thank you.
All right, so that does it for the presentations. Let's give all the teams another round of applause. For a lot of them, it's pretty amazing to see where they've come in just 50 hours. A lot of these teams have gone leaps and bounds from where they were whenever they walked in Friday evening. So what's going to happen next is we're going to pull all the judges into a back room to sort of convene about who the winners will be, and then we'll pick it back up in about 10, 15 minutes. Let's say 4:45. Okay. And there's still tons of food in the back, so please help yourself.
Can you play some music?
Yeah. Our winners. But wait, not yet, not yet. So before we get started with all that though, guys, again, congratulations. You made it through the weekend. So give yourselves another round of applause. And also we want to be sure to thank everyone involved. So coaches, judges, mentors, speakers, sponsors, everybody, especially Red Labs and OwlSpark and Station Houston, who have all done such a great job supporting us, and the Houston Technology Center. Thank you, all of you. And we also want to acknowledge that this is not the only startup weekend. We are not just kind of siloed off from the rest of the world. In fact, I think Hassan mentioned at the beginning of the presentation on Friday, there are, I think, 12 other startup weekends happening this weekend, and there will be more here in Houston in the future. So be sure to be on the lookout for those. We want to keep doing this. We want to make this, an annual or a biannual thing. So be on the lookout. So what's next? Just, the stats show that 12% of you guys are going to keep going to continue with what you started here this weekend, and that's pretty impressive. But keep in mind that the team will always come first before the idea, and the reality is that a lot of you guys are going to fail. I mean, everyone fails sooner or later. It's going to happen, and that's okay. The point is that we hope that you learned something here this weekend about the process of coming up with an idea, going out and validating it, and then strapping a business plan around it to make money. There's all sorts of other events and organizations going on under the TechStars umbrella. So be sure to check out some of these other opportunities to learn and grow and take initiative in the startup world. Didn't know this slide was in here. Cool. Cool stuff. And again, be sure that you're keeping up with what's going on in Houston. Be on the lookout for more startup weekends. And if you want, you're also welcome to now organize a startup weekend if you want. And so next time we do this, I'll be reaching out to the community looking for more help. All right. And so the moment, oh, yes, we have a question.
Where do you go to check it? Oh, StartupDigest.com.
Yeah. StartupDigest.com. So now the moment that everyone has all been waiting for. Carolyn wanted to take a picture. So could all the participants come forward, and we're going to take a quick group photo. Actually, let's get it in front of, let's do it right here. All right, I guess it didn't really matter which slide was up there. All right, yeah, let's. B? What was it? Oh, there we go.
Okay, now a really goofy one. Yeah, that made y'all smile. Okay.
Okay, now the moment everyone has been waiting for. And I don't know if this is gonna like show third, second, first, or if it's just gonna show it all at once, so we're about to find out. So the winning teams are, oh, and I forgot to mention, the prizes. So first, second, and third place will all get Microsoft BizSpark credits to help you go on and launch your app or whatever it is that you're building. The first place team will get the BizSpark credits plus 2 seats, and let me make sure that I'm not representing this in. So we're going to have, the winning team will get 2 seats at the local area, which means the shared space at Station, for a month, which means that you'll also have access to all of the events that are going on there, and you'll have access to reserve some of the conference rooms for whenever you need them. Is that? Huh? And the mentors. And you'll have an open access to all of the mentors at Station, which we're about to go and see in just a few minutes. Now is the moment that you've all been waiting for. The winning teams are Tire Trader in 3rd place, Mindermind in 2nd place, and View in 3rd place. Or View in 1st place, sorry. You want to pull those teams up and do another picture of our winner circle? All right. Can we have those teams come up?
Where's the excitement, guys?
All right, green faces this time, or like normal again? Oops, sorry. All right. And finally, once again, to all the participants, coaches, judges, mentors, sponsors, the rest of the organizing team, we love you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this. It's really important that you came out to support the community. Thank you.
Yeah, let's get a round of applause for Alex.
All right, let's hit it.